Here we are, together again, for the last time with Trump dealing with his crap again. Hey, how you feeling? Hold on. Let me set my plate over here. I was on with Stuttering John for so long, I didn't eat anything. So I'm snacking on a Belvita protein. This looks like a flattened version of what Yoda thought Luke shouldn't eat, but I'm going to eat it anyways because dinner will be here midway through when I'm doing this, and I've been working on bits. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thanks. Hi. Hello. Excuse me, and welcome, and how you doing, and hi. And how many in the chat room, like myself and my girlfriend, are recovering from watching Biden's remarks? And blessed Nicole Wallace for breaking down essentially so heavily that they had to keep anyone on camera but her. Poor thing. And completely understandable. Holy smokes. It was just on. Trump released his statement to correspond. That's the one thing we didn't know. Was that the goal, as far as Trump was, to limit the moment. So Summer, my girlfriend, asked me if I was gonna do, like put the Biden remarks on the show. And tomorrow we're gonna do the inauguration early in the morning. I'll be up early, ready to do that. But I feel, not that I can't show serious things on here and deal with them seriously. I feel that that moment is better left for people to experience wholly to themselves in that regard. So there you go. We crossed the 400,000 threshold today, and fittingly on Trump's last day in office. And Biden remarked at a memorial ceremony for those and to help deal with it. It was beautiful and sad and heartbreaking. And then earlier today he spoke in Delaware at the National Guard base that's named after his son. It's been one of those tear-jerker days. But there's always, of course, thank you, Norman Fox, for doing that for people. That was really sweet. So Trump, never to be overdone, released his statement, his farewell address, which I have to say, just this. Hold on, as soon as those things clear, this part. Can I just say that this is just lovely? That's almost tattoo worthy. Except it has his name in it. But the beauty, the purity, this is his guys. This is his serious presidenting face. You ready? You're ready. By the way, I and of course every other YouTuber and streamer and whatnot, we all make that face right before the camera rolls. Okay, let's do this. I'm eating a Belvita protein bar. Protein biscuit as well. Because, totally. And by the way, why not your last address from the Oval? Why not do it from the residence? Why not walk through the residence and why not do it from the... All right, maybe I'm too creative for that kind of work. But I think if you're going to make some history in a good way, which he's incapable of doing, but just for future presidents, some of them may be watching right now, and I'm sure they are. Until, of course, AI runs the government. When science does studies, humans shouldn't government. It's very dangerous. It's like when they drive. It's terrible most of the time. But in the in the case of you're saying your farewell address, Oval Office, obviously, podium in the hallway. Trump likes that, sure. He's got I don't know why he didn't go mini desk. I was very disappointed. There wasn't a small desk. But this is probably a Q code. We'll figure it out. By the way, algorithms and other people who apparently are scaring the crap out of Stuttering John. We are not. We are talking about bad things and the people who do them, not in support of bad things and the people who do them. It's an important distinction that we need to be able to discuss these things and level them with the degree of ridicule they deserve. See? All right. Since you spent all these years letting these idiots, and continue, by the way, to let these idiots have their shows on your platform, it might be a good idea if you now don't support them to let those of us that point out their failures and their weak spots to do so unscathed for the safety and psychological well-being of all peoples. Thank you. Oh, sub hype. What's happening, sub people? All right, I'm going to stop eating in a second. Because if I eat and he talks, barf. All right, the other thing I need to check. Yes, indeed. We are live on all channels. Don't forget to support the show by sharing it, primarily. And then, of course, whatever format you'd like to help, that's welcome and wanted. And I accept it with gratitude and can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I can try, but I always get embarrassed. So I'm going to, where is it? Setup options. Where in the world? There it is. Comments. Follower, restricted, protected. There we go. Now at least the people that are talking, even if they're jerks, have to actually be real live jerks as opposed to digital fake jerks. I hate fake jerks more than anything. These fake jerks, am I right? By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm supposed to say that stuff. They teach you that in YouTube camp. And to anyone who desperately wants to copyright strike me, understand that all these things fall under fair use, and I'm addressing the president and today the president's lawyer, which I, as a citizen, have every right to air every word out of their face and commented on it because freedom. So, shut me down for something I say, sure, but don't shut me down for any of the clips I do. Okay. I don't know why I even feel like Stuttering John's made me all paranoid about this now. All right. Here we go. Yeah. F them if they want to copyright strike me. Well, if it were only that easy, if I could only F those who copyright strike me, then they would be persuaded by my abilities to perform Sweet, Sweet Love. But unfortunately, I dodged the COVID bullet once. I dodged it again. We'll see tomorrow. Well, good luck, Mandy. So, thank you for the cheers, guys. We're at a level 5 hype train already right out of the gate. This promises to be hilarious and embarrassing. I looked at a couple of clips of this because I was on Stuttering John's show when it came out, or when we saw it come out, or whatever. But this is the farewell address of President Donald J. Trump. And I think we must, everyone, try, if you can, to use some solemnity. Try to be, this is the President of the United States, and whatever he says is clearly a matter of public record and will go down in history as some of the most important words that any American could possibly hear. So I want you to take it seriously, And no fooling around, no silliness. This is a farewell address that he released during the memorial service for 400,000 dead Americans because he couldn't not have the attention on him. And I think we have to take it as seriously as
River.
anyone, who, I don't know, works at Space Force.
Captain's log.
Okay, so here we go. Let's do this.
My fellow Americans,
Oh, so not us. I see.
4 years ago, we launched a great national effort to rebuild our country, to renew its spirit, and to restore the allegiance of this government to its citizens.
I guess we means MAGA. By the way, by we, he means him and Steve Mnuchin and Rex Tillerson. And who else did he fire? Yeah, anyway, go ahead.
In short, we embarked on a
In short, like my mushroom-shaped penis.
mission to make America great again for
And that merch is still available in the gift shop. We really need your help because we're going to stop the steal.
all Americans. As I conclude my term as the 45th President of the
The 41st? The 45th? Were you not clear about the number?
all Americans. As I conclude my term as the 45th President of the United
The 45th? As the 45th President.
States, I stand before you truly proud of what we have achieved together.
On the day we reach 400,000 dead. But please, keep sniffing.
We did what we came here to do.
Oh, you came here to kill 400,000 Americans, create the greatest deficit in history, build a wall that's a slat fence that Mexico never paid for, that blows over in high wind, lose the parents of 611 children, drop 8,000 unaccompanied minors on the Mexican side of the border in a cartel town, and whatever. Help North Korea get a nuclear submarine. Okay, yeah, so that was the start. So why don't you just have Putin do this for you?
And so much more.
What do we have for him, Johnny?
This week we had
And so much more. Mark Burnett, did you write this? You chintzy TV bastard.
inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous. We extend our best
The Biden administration. Stop stringing your QAnons along by saying this, dummy. Stop it.
wishes, and we also want them to have luck, a very important word.
It is a very important word. Most people don't know Trump has a tramp stamp that says luck. Yeah, try to get that image out of your head.
I'd like to begin by thanking just a few
You already started. You're a minute in. You already began. My fellow Americans, I'd like to begin by thanking
of the amazing people who made our remarkable journey possible.
my agent Stan. Everybody in the crew from what's his name to what's her name. I really want to thank all the masked maggots that showed up and threatened democratically elected members of the Senate and the House with death and hanging and shooting. If I'm leaving anybody out, it's because I'm so excited to,
First, let me express my overwhelming gratitude for the love and support of our spectacular First Lady, Melania.
Support of you by her or, hold on, yeah.
The love and support of our spectacular First Lady, Melania. Let me also share my deepest appreciation to my daughter Ivanka, my son-in-law Jared, and to Barron, Don, Eric, Tiffany, and Lara.
Etc. And Lara. Really? You're just gonna bum rush the rest of them in a pile? Look,
love and support of our spectacular First Lady, Melania.
and spectacular because she's a spectacle, because trophy wife. Please continue.
Let me also share my deepest appreciation to my daughter Ivanka,
My real wife.
my son-in-law Jared, and to Baron, Don, Eric, Tiffany, and Lara.
Lara. Gross.
You fill my world with light and with joy. I also
You fill my world with light and with joy. The dish soap. You how? Please, can you not? With light and with joy, is the word love so toxic to you? Do you not care? I love how, yeah, Ivanka gets a solid name check and everybody else's, etc., etc., etc. Light and joy.
my son-in-law Jared, and to Baron, Don, Eric, Tiffany, and Lara.
Lara.
You fill my world with light and with joy. I also want to thank Vice
What'd you do? Say bullshit and they cut it out? And
You fill my world with light and with joy.
who wrote this bullshit? Cut! All right, we'll pick it up from the other camera. Just go. All right, whatever.
I also want to thank Vice President Mike Pence, his wonderful wife Karen.
Excuse me. What is wrong with you?
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President Mike Pence and his wonderful wife Karen.
Her name is Carrot, and you will say it with dignity and honor, also mother to some others. All right? Now get back to what you're saying.
Michigan gave us Motang.
No, don't say that. Say your prepared remarks. This is your farewell.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
No, don't. How come you? Why would you
They don't
even?
like the gas.
Don't quit it. All right, let's go back to. Come on, let's get serious about having fun.
And the entire Pence family.
Yeah, whoever they are.
Thank you as well to my Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, the dedicated members of the White House staff,
And everyone who watched me twitch my way through a teleprompter reading after teleprompter reading, where I gotta try to let the words enter my spine, but thanking people actually hurts me.
and the cabinet and all of the
Literally, watching him thank people as it's written in a teleprompter, or congratulate other people, or attribute good characteristics to other people when it comes up, is like watching a vampire eat garlic.
incredible people across our administration who poured out their heart and soul to fight for America.
What? Who poured their heart and soul into the fight for America? Poured out? What did you martyr them by slitting their throats like some sort of bizarre Mongolian ritual, you nutcase?
I also
Nice big, take a deep breath after that one.
poured out their heart and soul to fight for America.
Ew.
I also want to take a moment to thank a truly exceptional group of people.
Obviously, you're not. You did your family, not them, not Mark Meadows. Who are they? The people who stormed the Capitol and were wanting to shoot Mike Pence. Them? Is that who?
The United States Secret Service.
Oh, okay. Well, they're Treasury agents. You're not going to be too happy that they're going to be following you around for a while.
My family and I will forever be in your debt.
Why did they see you do stuff and they're holding it against you, and they're like, hey man, you got to buy me a house in Coral Gables, or a picture I took with my phone? You mean like that kind of debt?
My profound gratitude as well to everyone in the White House Military Office,
Iswell?
the teams of Marine One and Air Force One, every member of the armed forces, and state and local law enforcement all across our country. Most of all, I want to thank the American people.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye. Thanks. No. That's cool. Yeah, no, we got it from here. Yeah, no. You're welcome. Bye. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks very much. Yeah, yeah, Phil. Thanks. It's very gracious of you, but piss off. Thank you. Goodbye.
Serve as your president has been an honor beyond description.
Well, try to describe it. You've got the best words. Why would it be beyond description? Just come up with an analogy.
Thank you for this extraordinary privilege, and that's what
it is.
it is, a great privilege and a great honor.
Thanks. So, yeah, we saw the word honor and privilege were in the teleprompter. Are they caught up yet? Cool.
We must never forget that while Americans will always have our disagreements,
Thanks, Georgina.
we are a nation of incredible, decent, faithful, and peace-loving citizens.
Yeah, which is why all of your supporters are expecting tomorrow for you to shackle Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton and half of Hollywood and put them in Guantanamo before they're executed for treason on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. I don't know. I've lost track at this point.
Who all want our country to thrive and flourish and be...
Well, our country. Again, want America to thrive. See, it's very important. Want the United States of America to thrive. And see how easy that is? We want America to represent. We want our country to. You see? See the little difference there? See, it's an important one. Yeah.
And be very, very successful and good. Thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good.
Yeah, very, very successful and good. I'm good. I'm a good.
Thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good.
I'm going to be very successful and good. Cookie!
Truly magnificent nation.
Yes. Whoops. What was that edit?
Successful and good. We are a truly magnificent nation. Horrified by the assault on our capital.
No, they weren't. You were excited about it. The books will be written about how elated you are, and you will go, well, it was true, it was great, pretty great. They're just passionate people. All people were disgusted by it. That's why I said, you're special, I love you, to the people who had just beat a cop to death. Are you, yeah, okay.
Political violence is an attack on everything we cherish as Americans. It can never be tolerated.
My lawyer made me say that.
Now more than ever, we must unify around our shared...
That was like a cut-in. Did you notice that?
Flourish and be very, very successful and good.
And good. We got to do the legalese thing. You know, like the little text at the bottom where they tell you that don't take this with alcohol, and if you have blurry vision or you start gambling too much, you should talk to your doctor about lowering your dosage. We have to do that in... Can we just cut... Can we do that part now? Just have him throw in just put it right in the teleprompter. Donnie, baby, I'm going to need you to hit this again. Really, really nail the political violence is bad, that kind of stuff. Just so we can get you on tape saying that so that we can play it up against the other tape that they have. So.
We are a truly magnificent nation. All Americans were horrified by the assault.
What did they do? Edit this in from the other video the other day?
Assault on our capital. Political violence is an attack on everything we cherish as Americans. It can never be tolerated. Now more than ever, we must unify around our...
See that? They inserted that part in it.
Shared values.
They made him go back and put that in.
And rise above the partisan rancor and forge our common destiny.
Yeah, rancor and forge our common destiny. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you know what the problem with the criminal justice system is cops won't leave murderers alone. Yeah, I've always thought that. If you want fewer murderers, stop looking for murderers. I mean, of course you know it's murder. It could have just been an accidental multiple stabbing, but you had to go and look for the murderer. You had to put him on trial. It's very divisive to the community.
4 years ago, I came to Washington as the only true outsider ever to win the presidency.
What? The only true outsider ever to win the presidency. You do realize the first 9 presidents before George Washington, before the actual Continental Congress, and Washington himself and the original, were literally all the way up to the War of 1812 under constant threat of the entire country being scuttled. They were outsiders from the planet.
I had not spent my career as a politician, but as a builder looking at open skylines and imagining infinite possibilities.
No, you were looking at empty skylines and going, is somebody going to put a building there? Can I slap my name on it? Infinite possibilities. Because you really think of, screw Frank Lloyd Wright. You know, it's the Trump Towers of the world that you go, man, the possibility. Like, I never knew architecture could be as glass and square as that.
I ran for president because I knew there were towering new summits for America just waiting to be scaled.
That's right. I mean, people thought the most Americans dying in one fell swoop was Pearl Harbor or 9/11, but no, that was a summit yet to be scaled.
I knew the potential for our nation was boundless as long as we put America first.
Yes, which is why I used an old neo-Nazi phrase from before the Second World War.
I left behind my former life and stepped
Your former life as a loser and a failed game show host.
into a very difficult arena, but an arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done.
If properly, listen to that sentence. This is a grown man allegedly forming words in a sentence.
As long as we put America first. So I left behind my former life and stepped into a very difficult arena, but an arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done.
Yeah, if you properly do an arena, there's a lot of unlimited potentials that go with the different kinds of arenas that you've never stepped into. This is such idiocy. if properly done, that can't be in the teleprompter. That can't be. He's reading clearly, but that can't be the order of the words. That someone else. I mean,
arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done. America had given me so much, and I wanted to give something back.
Yes, in the form of 400,000 dead, the highest deficit in American history by far, and a deficit in your final year in office, before the pandemic even struck. It's a miracle. It really is.
Together with millions of hardworking patriots across this land, we...
Hardworking. He thinks his work is hard. Challenging. Difficult. Perhaps. Being president has a lot of challenge, but hard? No. You don't have to... None of the executive orders were on stone tablets you had to chisel yourself.
We built the greatest political movement in the history of our country.
Again, George Washington would beg to differ. I also think the North in the Civil War would also say that they had fought an uphill battle, as it were.
We also built the greatest economy in the history of the world.
Gibberish.
It was about America first because we all wanted to make America great again.
Yeah, make sure you get that phrase in there. Did we already? He already said that, right? He said America first, make America great again. We have to say them in order, otherwise the Q people don't know how to fill out their bingo cards and when to attack. I mean,
we restored the principle that a nation exists to serve.
I have to tell you guys, I cannot wait to go online and check the Q threads about whether or not they think this is a deep fake, or whether it's part of the plan, or whether he's a sellout. It's just, or all of the above. They'll manage to put these all together. It's going to be
to serve its citizens. Our agenda was not about right or left. It wasn't about Republican or Democrat.
It was about oligarch and Bararuska.
But about the good of a nation, and that means the whole nation.
Of Russia.
With the support and prayers of the American people, we achieved more than anyone thought possible.
Yeah, but that's not saying a lot, because people look at you and they're amazed you literally don't forget your diaper and actually shit your trousers. No one expected me to be able to stand in front of a microphone without falling into habitual masturbation and attacking a flag.
Nobody thought we could even come close. We passed the largest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history.
All right. Now he's lumping the tax cuts with the reforms into one thing, saying because nobody groups tax cuts and reforms into the same package and thinks they're the same thing, so therefore it must be the biggest one.
We slashed more job-killing regulations than any administration had ever done before.
Of course, you also slashed a bunch of life-saving regulations at the same time. So, but please tell me again about how well the pandemic response team was able to stand up and
we fixed our broken trade deals.
By the way, for the record, he considers the budget of the pandemic response team in the White House to be part of the regulation slashing. Getting rid of what the pandemic response team did was part of the, quote, regulation slashing, just for the record. So when he says regulation slashing, think of 400,000 dead and Alabama's upcoming cancer clusters.
Withdrew from the horrible Trans-Pacific Partnership
and China. What is this? Why is it so hard for you to read? What is happening to your face? Why is that so hard? By the way, the Trans-Pacific Partnership would have been bad for China. And after he scuttled it, $17 million magically appeared in that Chinese bank account he had. Just for the record.
And the impossible Paris Climate Accord.
Really? You're about to find out how possible it is. And by the way, the impossible Paris Accord, what is this to? Literally, are these words physically painful?
We fixed our broken trade deals, withdrew from the horrible Trans-Pacific Partnership and the impossible Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, so one of the edits was he had a hard time saying impossible Paris Accord. The multiple pieces. Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for the super chat, and thanks for subscribing, everybody. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and give us a like, and share the show, and join in patreon.com/HalSparks. And thank you.
Renegotiated the one-sided South Korea deal, and we replaced
the one-sided South Korea deal.
NAFTA with the groundbreaking USMCA. That's Mexico and Canada. A deal.
Because the North American Free Trade Agreement. Oh, is this the moment we find out that you don't know that Canada is part of North America? Oh my God. Listen to this. Listen.
The one-sided South Korea deal.
Which I like, the one-sided South Korea deal. Oh, God.
And we replaced NAFTA with the groundbreaking USMCA. That's Mexico and Canada, a deal that's worked out very, very well. Also,
By the way, it hasn't even gotten into full swing yet. Hi. I'll take it. Then I'll take it later. You can put it in the fridge. I'll eat it. Yeah, because it'll be a little hard to eat a giant sushi burrito. No, I'm not gonna eat anything. Yeah, I had to finish my little biscuit, or I would barf it all over my desk. Good God! Summer brought me a sushi burrito for dinner. It's really good, so I'm very excited about the whole thing. It's waiting for me. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Rebs. All right.
also, and very importantly,
Oh, good. All right, everybody, we're taking notes, right? Also and very importantly. Oh God.
a deal that's worked out very, very well. Also, and very importantly,
They had to edit that one too. Did you see that? Did you see the edit? It's very importantly, and it was awesome. And a lot of people don't even know that North America and Canada are now one. There was no Kexit from Canada leaving the
Canada, a deal that's worked out very, very well. Also,
God.
and very importantly, we imposed historic and monumental tariffs on China, made a great new deal.
Did you hear him go? Because, yeah.
Deal with China, but before the
Did you what? You what? Sorry, I mean you
tariffs
what?
on China, made a great new deal with China.
Oh, did you now? Well, golly, when did that happen? A great new deal with China. Well, that sounds interesting. A great new deal with. Did you say New Deal? It wasn't a Green New Deal, was it? I hope not. That would be horrifying. A great new deal with China, and then.
But before the ink was even dry,
Oh boy. Figuratively, not literally.
we and the whole world got hit with the China virus.
P.S. The ink wasn't even dry. He was still negotiating that while the disease was entering the country and spreading. Right? We remember this? What was it? March? Hold on. I need to now I'm going to go down a hole for a second. But Trump signs phase 1 China deal. Right? Okay. What is that? Today the signing phase 1 examples of 4 more. There you go. So January 15th, we already had people dying of it. It was already being talked about, and there he is. Thank you very much. Please, we greatly appreciate you joining us at the White House event. It's a very important and remarkable occasion. Today we take a momentous step, one that has never been taken before with China, toward a future of fair and reciprocal trade as we phase 1 historic trade deal between the United States and China. Okay. January 15th, 2020. Just saying. But please, go ahead.
Our trade relationship was rapidly changing. Billions and billions of dollars were pouring into the U.S., but the virus forced us
And billions were pouring out. Thank you, Walmart.
to go in a different direction. The whole world suffered, but America outperformed other countries economically because of our incredible economy and the economy that we built.
So economics and economy. So we're doing better than the rest of the world economically because remember the pandemic? Yeah, we're in the recovery phase after the pandemic right now. I don't know if you know that. But after it finished and we're no longer we're not even dealing with it anymore. We're in a post-pandemic world.
Without the foundations and footings, it wouldn't have worked out this way.
Yeah, you mean what the Obama administration did in the Recovery Act and the necessary legislation, the fact that we poured $6 trillion on our economy to keep it afloat?
We wouldn't have some of the best numbers we've ever had.
We don't have some of the best numbers we've ever had.
We also unlocked our energy resources
And by the way, he means stock market. And by we, he means him and Steve Mnuchin.
and became the world's #1 producer of oil and natural gas by far. Powered by these policies, we built the greatest and natural gas by far.
Yeah. And what happened? We overproduced. Saudi Arabia and Russia got into a battle for who was producing as much. They pulled back on how much they were producing in an attempt to raise the amount, which meant we were dumping oil, and then the pandemic hit, and nobody needed it, so it crashed the oil and gas market because you don't actually think ahead.
Powered by these policies, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We reignited America's job
Why, he keeps saying that as if it were true.
creation and achieved record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women, almost everyone. Income
Almost.
soared.
Of course, all unemployment was going down, had been during the Obama administration. Same track, by the way. There was no increase in how quickly unemployment was going down under Trump. There wasn't some magical elixir that brought that line down faster. It was exactly on the same track it was on. And interestingly enough, while black unemployment, Hispanic and Asian unemployment was going lower, it was going lower at the exact same pace as white unemployment and not getting any closer. So it remained, and still remains, higher than white unemployment by a major amount, and it never, see, if you're going to claim that you've improved black, Hispanic, Asian, minority of any sort unemployment figures, then what you would want them to do is kind of close the gap between them and the mean, the average, or the white, as it were. But they don't, you didn't, and so, yeah.
Soared, wages boomed, the American dream was restored, and
And people only didn't realize that you were doing nothing but priming the pump. You were going to have to do quantitative easing again just to get yourself out of the recession you had set up with your policies.
millions were lifted from poverty in just a few short years. It was a miracle. Stock market set one record after another.
Same thing was true during the Obama administration. Anything over 12,000 is every single number is Obama.
With 148 stock market highs during this short period of time, and boosted the retirements and pensions of hardworking citizens all across our nation.
And then
401ks are at a level they've never been at before. We've never seen numbers like we've seen, and that's
well, perhaps you would like to show those numbers to other people because they look an awful lot like right after the last recession.
before the pandemic and after the pandemic.
Oh, it's after. Yeah, we're done. We're after. It's after the pandemic. Guys, we're in post. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mary, for the Venmo. That's very sweet. Hugs and kisses. Oh, thank you. We're going to have the, just so you know, the ice cream inauguration is tomorrow morning early. I'm going to be up and on the air at 8 a.m. And then, of course, 9 o'clock is the swearing in Pacific time, noon East Coast. So I'm going to be up for that. And then we'll just kind of ride it out and have a couple hours together around that. And then you guys can watch the rest of it while I go back to shooting sketches like a madman for Sexy Liberal this weekend, which is Saturday.
We rebuilt the American manufacturing base, opened up thousands of new factories.
Opened up thousands of new factories. Do we even want to bother fact-checking the violent bullshit barf that we just saw? Thousands of new factories. Listen to that.
We built the American manufacturing base, opened up thousands of new factories, and
Opened up thousands of new factories. Yeah, Amazon's not a factory. And even that, like, you could say, even at a few factories, if you did open them, which you didn't, you could go thousands of jobs at new factories. Thousands of new factories. And this is just embarrassingly sloppy dumb.
And brought back the beautiful phrase, made in the USA.
You mean made in America? Made in America is the beautiful phrase. Made in the USA is what you stamp on stuff. Made in America is what everybody says. We want everything made in America. Made in America. That's how you say it. That's the beautiful phrase. Made in the USA. Good God, man.
To make life better for working families, we doubled the child tax credit and signed
did we? Oh, now we includes the Democrats who crafted the bill.
largest ever expansion of funding for child care and development. We joined with the private sector to secure commitments to train more than 16 million American workers for the jobs of tomorrow.
Yeah, that's something that's never been tried before. Oh, you basically renewed education contracts. Gotcha.
Our nation was hit with the terrible pandemic. We produced not one, but 2 vaccines
Who's we? The first doses came from Belgium.
with record-breaking speed, and more will quickly follow.
Yeah, tell the people in San Diego how good speed is.
They said it couldn't be done, but we did it. They
Oh, God.
called it a medical miracle, and
Did they? Who did? They did?
that's what they're calling it right now.
Really? Wait, listen to this
More
sentence.
will quickly follow. They said it couldn't be done, but we did it.
No.
They called
Yeah.
it a medical miracle, and that's what they're calling it right now, a medical miracle. Another administration would have
So are they going to call it a medical miracle like a couple of years from now? Because they did before, and you said they are right now. But in the future, are they going to refer to it as a medical miracle? Or people are going to recognize that this disease didn't strike at the same time as tuberculosis or polio or smallpox? You know, we have science stuff now.
They're calling it right now a medical miracle. Another administration would have taken 3, 4, 5, maybe even up to 10 years to develop.
Yeah, totally. Like Eisenhower? Fuck that guy. Truman? It would have taken them forever to come up with this. I mean, can you imagine John Adams trying
to develop a vaccine? We did it in 9 months.
Oh, did you now? 9.
We grieve for every life
Thank you.
lost, and we pledge in their memory to wipe out this horrible pandemic once and for all.
Oh, do we?
When the virus took its brutal toll on the world's economy, we launched the fastest economic recovery our country.
Jesus, man, you already talked about the economic recovery, and we're not even out of the goddamn thing. You have literally name drop every time the deaths come up. He has to name drop the economy. Okay.
Toll on the world's economy, we launched the fastest economic recovery our country has ever seen.
We're still in the pandemic. This isn't a recovery. We need stimulus to make sure we don't crash entirely. This isn't a recovery. Do you understand? Okay, throwing someone a life preserver is not swimming lessons.
We passed nearly $4 trillion
Thank you, Raphael.
in economic relief. Saved or supported over 50 million. Passed nearly $4 trillion in economic relief.
You passed nearly 4 trillion, 6.6, but you know who's counting?
Saved or supported over 50 million jobs and slashed the unemployment rate in half.
You didn't slash it in half. Once people could start going back to work and attempted to do so, they did. A lot of them are not working again. We're still in this.
These are numbers that our country has never seen before.
What are you talking about? What do you mean this is... numbers we've never seen before. I honestly, he says that sentence a lot. We've never seen anything like there's never seen any numbers like the numbers that we've seen. Is he talking about the stock market again, or the drop in unemployment, or the rise in used car sales?
Rate in half. These are numbers that our country has never seen before.
Here, I have three numbers for you right now. The only one that counts is one in the middle.
We created choice and transparency in healthcare.
I'm sorry, you what?
Stood up to Big Pharma in so many ways,
Choice,
but especially
choice and transparency in healthcare. What are you talking about?
in our effort to get favored nations clauses added, which will give us the lowest prescription drug prices anywhere in the world. We passed VA choice, VA.
Oh, no, you did not. And I thought thousands of factories were bad. I can't. Just in case there's any folks in here who haven't seen us deal with this bullshit before, never pass up an opportunity to just lie your ass off.
Anywhere in the world. We passed VA choice, VA accountability, right to try, and landmark criminal justice reform. We confirmed 3 new justices of the United States Supreme Court.
All of whom threw out your election fraud scam.
We appointed nearly 300 federal judges to interpret our Constitution as written.
Which is why none of your cases ever made it anywhere. Because unfortunately for you, in some cases, those people actually did their job.
For years, the American people pleaded with Washington to finally secure the nation's borders. I am pleased to
Is that what they did? We pled with them? Yeah? You're pleased to what?
say we answered that plea and achieved the most secure border in U.S. history.
Yeah, all it took was a deadly pandemic that made everyone stay home, and more deaths in America than in Mexico, so people would have to be psychotic to come here.
We have given our brave border agents and heroic ICE officers the tools they need to do their jobs better than they have ever done before, and to
Did you give them like some tools to help prop the wall up so it doesn't fall on them?
enforce our laws and keep America safe. We proudly leave the next
Bunch of edits in this.
administration with the strongest and most robust border security measures ever put into place. This includes historic agreements with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, along with more than 450 miles of
Didn't he just say the caravans are already on their way?
powerful new wall. We restored
Our powerful new wall. That's a nice wall you got there. Yeah. Runs on nuclear.
than 450 miles of powerful new wall.
It's not new. It's 12 miles of new wall.
We restored American strength at home and American leadership abroad. The
Oh yeah? How?
world respects us again. Please don't lose that respect.
Yeah. You mean Putin's?
We reclaimed our sovereignty by standing up for America at the United Nations and withdrawing from the one-sided global deals that never served our interest.
Never? That's funny. Because it's multiple times we've been the most prosperous country in the entire world, even before you were around. And largely it was because of deals that we did with other countries that benefit us. And obviously there's some reciprocity going on there. So, no? Wasn't, all right.
And NATO countries are now paying hundreds of billions of dollars more than when I arrived just a few.
146 billion, and most of that increase is a factor of us being 8 years or 9 years at the time when it started past the recession.
A few years ago, it
It's 2% of zero kind of concept, if you understand.
was very unfair. We were paying the cost for the world. Now
Oh, it's terrible. Just awful how it's almost as if our security is intertwined with parts of Europe, and that if we let that slide, it'll end up at our shores.
the world is helping us. And perhaps most importantly of all, with nearly $3 trillion, we fully rebuilt the American military, all made in the USA.
F-35 is made overseas, and a lot of the tech that he got specifically is built by the Saudis. Circuit boards cut in South Korea. That was part of the deal. I mean, he doesn't even know. It'd be one thing if he knew and he was lying, but I don't even think that's this. I think he's just stupid.
We launched the first new branch of the United States Armed Forces.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Tell us.
In 75 years, the Space Force.
Captain
And last
Frog.
spring, I stood at Kennedy Space Center in Florida and watched as American astronauts returned to space on American rockets for the first time in many, many years.
Yeah, because that's what you came in on.
We revitalized our alliances and rallied the nations of the world to stand up to China like never before.
Yeah, I think the virus did that for you.
We obliterated the ISIS caliphate and ended
You told your generals, couldn't you just leave if you got 70% of it? And they said no.
the wretched life of its founder and leader, al-Baghdadi. We stood up to the oppressive Iranian regime and killed the world's top terrorist, Iranian butcher Qasem Soleimani.
Yeah, you extrajudicially murdered a general on foreign soil. I mean, basically, you just gave every bad actor on the planet a complete gloves-off opportunity to just kill any of our generals, because we did that to them on a world court level.
We recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and recognized Israeli sovereignty over the
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, what's your name? Jerusalem. Now I know where I know you. You're the capital of Israel, right? Yeah, you got me.
Golan Heights. As a result of our bold diplomacy and principled realism, we achieved a series of historic peace deals in the Middle East.
And all it cost was $50 billion in weapons to each of the nations.
Nobody believed it could happen.
Yeah, because nobody thought anybody'd be dumb enough to give three countries that view Israel as an enemy $50 billion worth of weapons, including the F-35.
Abraham Accords opened the doors to a future of peace and harmony,
Well, until they decide to use those weapons, I suppose.
not violence and bloodshed. It is the dawn of a new Middle East, and we are bringing our soldiers home.
Okay, you want to know the dawn of the new Middle East? The end of oil. That's what we're seeing. Again, that's what you're going to see over the next 10 years. Everybody's going to start playing nice in the Middle East.
especially proud to be the first president in decades who has started no new wars.
Unless you count the attack on the Capitol. The Civil War. Yeah. The first president to start a civil war.
Above all, we have reasserted the sacred idea that in America, the government answers to the people. Our guiding
Oh, yeah. So that's why you sent people to attack the Capitol. I see.
light, our North Star, our unwavering conviction has been that we are here to serve the noble, everyday citizens of America. Our allegiance is not to the special interests, corporations, or global entities.
Get through this as fast as possible. You're starting to lose interest, and we know you're going to black out if you get this. You look really scared right now. It's nothing to be afraid of. They're just words. They won't bite you. Some of them
It's
might.
to our children, our citizens, and to our nation itself. As president, my top priority, my constant concern, has always been the best interests of American workers
Yeah.
and American families.
He's
I
got
did
it. He's
not
got it.
seek
Just keep-
the easiest course by
Yeah, well, like reading the president's daily brief would actually been, pretty easy. You find all that information, they bring it right to you.
Far, it was actually the most difficult. I did not seek the path that would get the least criticism.
So please tell us again that part of why we should be amazed by you is because you perfected the art of the clumsy flail.
I took on the tough battles, the hardest fights, the most difficult choices.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the whole immigrant babies. Whew. Man, why won't somebody do something about the children?
Because that's what you elected me to do.
I voted for the lady, and then I voted for the new guy. So I didn't, and you installed sycophants and losers in crucial points of government, and yeah.
Your needs were my first and last unyielding focus.
Yeah, that's why you golfed more than any president in history and charged the Secret Service retail to stay at your properties. Great.
This, I hope, will be our greatest legacy.
No, it won't. Butter statues of you playing golf will be your legacy. 400,000 dead, 500,000, 500,000 dead, because by the end of February, by the time the Biden administration can actually upend any of the bullshit you did and start fixing things, your legacy will be 500,000 dead. Period. Like, that's it. And the only president to incite an attack on the Capitol. These are the two things. You leave office like you entered. A massive fuck up.
Together, we put the American people back in charge of our country.
We have a representative government.
We restored self-government. We restored the idea that in America, no one is forgotten because everyone matters and everyone has a voice.
Everyone? Everyone? First of all, Nazis and Confederates who stand for another country and another governmental order that is antithetical to the United States, while I don't mind if they are allowed to follow the traffic rules as Americans, every voice, can we just stop pretending that you want the inclusion of the Ku Klux Klan? Or is it Ku? Who gives a shit? The Ku Klux Klan in the, at least they have, their voices can be heard.
We fought for the principle that every citizen is entitled to equal dignity, equal treatment, and
especially if they're marching in Charlottesville saying Jews will not replace us.
Equal rights.
I think
because we are all made equal by God.
Equal in value, not equal in promise. I mean,
everyone is entitled to be treated with respect, to have their voice heard, and to have their government listen.
Oh, really? Everybody? Everybody. So why can't trans people serve? Everybody. Everybody.
Are loyal to your country, and my administration was always loyal to you.
To who? He's talking directly to, we love you. Follow me to Florida.
We worked to build a country in which every citizen could find a great job and support their wonderful families.
If they could only survive the murderous virus that I let rampage the country. Other than that,
we fought for the communities where every American could be safe and schools where every child could learn.
Oh, I see. Right. Rich communities and gated communities. I got you.
Promoted a culture where our laws would be upheld.
Oh, yeah? Did we? Oh, right. I'm sorry. I forgot. You tweeted Law and Order. It was your supporters who beat a cop to death and trampled one of their own to death. And I guess tased themselves in the balls until they died in an attempt to tase members of Congress so that they could execute them in the gallows that they had built.
Our heroes honored, our history preserved, and law-abiding citizens are never taken for granted.
Yeah, I never take law-abiding citizens for granted. I always assume that assholes like you will break the law at every chance they get. So just because they appear to be law-abiding, you might want to keep an eye on this dude. If you see him in your neighborhood, bring in your kids. Keep them away from him, especially if he's walking with a woman with a short, black, cropped hairdo. Name tag Maxwell, prison fatigues.
Americans should take tremendous satisfaction in
you leaving.
all that we have achieved together. It's incredible. Now, as I leave the White House, I have been reflecting on the dangers that threaten the priceless inheritance we all share.
Oh yeah, the dangers of what are we in danger of losing without you in the White House? What could it possibly be?
As the world's most powerful nation, America faces constant threats and challenges from abroad.
Yeah, what's her name? I kid. So there are no threats inside the country.
But the greatest danger we face is a loss of confidence in ourselves, a loss of confidence in our national greatness.
Yeah, if we just,
Nation is only as strong as its spirit. We are only as dynamic as our pride. We are only as
dynamic as our pride. What in the world are you talking about, man? Literally, most of the time I'm like, I can kind of grasp where he's going with this. But this is like they made the speech out of refrigerator poetry because the teleprompter wasn't working and someone tripped on the way in the room. Shit, we're on. Just throw him up there.
its spirit. We are only as dynamic as our pride.
Huh? Honestly.
We are only as vibrant as the faith that beats in the hearts of our people.
We are only as vibrant as the faith that beats in the hearts of our people. What? I'm honest to God. I don't know how. Huh? I mean, it's really, this is, when someone tries to appear eloquent, it can often be a recipe for disaster when they have the brain pan of this young fellow. I'm still wrapping my head around those sentences.
No nation can long thrive.
But they went back and got it. This is a second version.
We are only as dynamic as our pride. We are only as vibrant as the faith that beats in the hearts of our people.
Seriously, this is...
No nation can long thrive that loses faith in its own values, history, and heroes, for these are the very sources of our unity and our vitality.
Is this supposed to be, like, for the history books?
What has always allowed America to prevail and triumph over the great challenges of the past
is a recognition of reality and science and a respect for our institutions, even where it may usurp some of our own power, because as a democracy, we see the value in other people's, up into the point where they try to forcibly enact their beliefs on another person without that person's consent. Something like that?
Has been an unyielding and unashamed conviction in the nobility of our country and its unique purpose in history.
No. In participating in the nobility of the country and seeking to have it live up to its promise. It's a living value. It's not a statue, dipshit.
We must never lose this conviction. We must never forsake our belief in America.
Forsake our belief in America. I haven't. I honest to God. I think if anything has reassured me about the promise of America, it's that you're a double impeached, one-term, broke-ass idiot going home.
The key to national greatness lies in sustaining and instilling our shared national identity.
God, this is tiresome. Like, even he's lost interest in it. He's like, what are those? What? What? I mean, he literally has a what the shit is this look on his face.
That means focusing on what we have in common, the heritage that we all share.
What is that? Germany?
At the center of this heritage is also a robust belief in free expression, free speech, and open debate. Only
Right? Yeah. So tell us how every tattoo artist should have the right to write, "Jews will not replace us," on anybody who falls asleep in their chair. But they have to, and still get paid for their hours.
only if we forget who we are and how we got here could we ever
This is the moment you realize that Trump doesn't know his own name right now and cannot figure out what room he is in the White House.
allow political censorship and blacklisting to take place in America.
Yeah, the president lost
It's
his
not
Twitter
even
account.
thinkable. Shutting
No, it isn't. You can't even think about it.
down
It's not even thinkable that Twitter would have standards and maintain them.
open debate. Only if
Listen
we
to this.
forget who we are and how we got here could we ever allow political censorship and blacklisting to take place in America. It's not even thinkable. Shutting down free and open debate violates our core values and
You have the right to free and open debate. Who's stopping you from free and open debate? Well, I came into the theater. I believe there is a fire. You believe there is no fire and it's crowded, and we simply have a disagreement.
most enduring
you.
traditions.
Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. And thank you guys for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and bits. Don't forget hype trains and stuff like that. I'm trying to do ads and I'm terrible at it. That's the one thing I can learn from Stuttering John about the show is to stop and go, you have a manscape something.
Traditions. In America, we don't insist on absolute conformity or enforce rigid orthodoxies and
No, but we also don't let people tell children to play in the street and go what when they get run over.
punitive speech codes. We just don't do that.
We don't do it. We just don't do it. We don't have punitive speech codes. If you want to scream the N-word in a restaurant, they have to, if they want to stay in business, allow you. Listen to Rand Paul. That's what he's talking about. If you want to open a restaurant that allows you to use racial epithets for any non-white in the building, that's life. Never mind the fact that all of those people pay their taxes, and their taxes keep the streetlights on, and you wouldn't have any customers at all. People couldn't actually get to your goddamn place of business. Thank you, Heather. Yes, 1,000 minutes left. Oh, it's beautiful.
America is not a timid nation of tame souls who need to be sheltered and protected from the
No, but we also are too busy and productive and creative and interesting to have to constantly use a badminton racket to knock back all the 1951 racial and sexual epithets that you and your ilk toss around.
from those with whom we disagree. That's not who we are. It will never be who we are. For nearly
No, it won't be who we are. It cannot be who we are. Who are we? So we cannot forget who we are. Who have we become?
250 years, in the face of every challenge, Americans have always summoned our unmatched courage, confidence, and fierce independence.
And that's why when the Nazis dropped propaganda all over the United States, Americans did the true free speech thing. They stapled it to every lamppost in town because we believe in open debate.
These are the miraculous traits that once led millions of everyday
Miraculous. Jesus-y.
citizens to
Thank you, Loretta.
set out across a wild continent and
Hype
carve out
train.
a new life in the Great West. It was the same profound love of
Oh, fucking hell. We're getting into the... We've now entered the Wikipedia... WikiLeaks. The Wikipedia section of the speech.
our God-given freedom that willed our soldiers into battle.
Well, sort of the God-taken freedom, actually. Especially when it comes to free speech and freedom of religion. Because those aren't in the Ten Commandments. As a matter of fact, the Founding Fathers specifically put the First and Second Amendment where they are as antithetical elements, in direct contrast to the Ten Commandments, the actual law of the Lord. Thou shalt not have any other gods before me. I'm a jealous God. Thou shalt honor thy mother and their father, and thou shalt not kill. Those are basically wiped out in the first three. The first two, rather. Because you have freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom to congregate, whoever, and a redress of grievances, because it implies that there is no godly nature in the men that run the country. They are simply public servants. And then, of course, the Second Amendment is there so you can kill people. So thou shalt not kill. Or, obviously you can also use a gun to covet your neighbor's oxen and his ass if you're tired of coveting and you just want to have them.
And our astronauts into space. As I think back on the past 4 years, one image rises in my mind above all others.
Yeah, your feet and a TV and crumbs on your belly and Maria Bartiromo going, he could still do this. He could still win this. He could still do this. He could still win this. He could still... This has to be dealt with. People need to talk about this.
Above all others. Whenever I traveled all along the motorcade route, there were thousands and thousands of people.
Oh, Jesus, man. Listen to this bullshit. In the 4 years, there is an image that comes back to me. Is it laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier? The flag-draped coffins? Seriously, is it the image of the Washington and Lincoln Memorial out your window as you contemplate the history of this great country? Like, for Christ's sake, you pathetic loser.
All along the motorcade route, there were thousands and thousands of people.
Jesus Christ. Literally, the thing that I'll remember the most is the assholes that lined the streets and bought my bullshit and thought it was pudding.
They came out with their families so that they could stand as we passed and proudly wave our great American flag.
All right. This goofy dipshit.
It never failed to deeply move me. I knew that they did not just come out to show their support of me. They came out to show me their support and love for our country.
Yeah, that's why they stormed the Capitol and interrupted the reading of the electoral votes, because the certification and the counting, because they really believe in America, the promise of America as a democracy.
This is a republic of proud citizens who are united by our common conviction that America is the greatest nation in all of history.
IMB 1020.
We are and must always be a land of hope, of light, and of glory to all the world. This is the precious inheritance that we must safeguard at every single turn. For the past...
Yes, so be ready at any second to shoot somebody for Jesus.
4 years I have worked to do just that. From a great hall of Muslim leaders in Riyadh...
I'm sorry, what kind of leaders?
To do just that. From a great hall of Muslim leaders in Riyadh...
I'm sorry, what kind of leaders?
I have worked to do just that. From a great hall of Muslim leaders in Riyadh...
Muslim, okay.
To a great square of Polish people in Warsaw. From the floor of the Korean Assembly to the podium at the United Nations General Assembly.
All places where everyone spent a lot of time going, what is he?
And from the Forbidden City in Beijing to the shadow of Mount Rushmore, I fought for you, I fought for your family,
You fought for us? You forted in the Forbidden City.
Mount Rushmore. I fought for you. I fought for your family. I fought for our country. Above all...
Our country. Our country. Basically because he knows everybody who didn't vote for him is not watching this crap.
I fought for your family. I fought for our country. Above all, I fought for America and all it stands for, and that is safe, strong, proud, and free. Now, as
It stands for what? What does it stand for?
Above all, I fought for America and all it stands for.
All it stands for. So this is all America stands for. All it stands for, which is?
And that is safe, strong, proud, and free. Now,
Safe, strong, proud, and free. That's all it stands for. Safe, strong, proud, and free. Sounds like a tribe that wants to kill strangers. Honestly, it sounds, yeah. Ask the Pawnee Indians if the Lakota ever told them they wanted to be safe, strong, proud, and free. I bet they did.
now, as I prepare to hand power over to a new administration,
You mean the Biden administration? Say the Biden administration. Every time he says new administration, everybody, seriously, they hit all the Q folks think that he is going to be president and Mike Flynn's going to take over for Mike Pence.
free. Now, as I prepare to hand power over to a new administration at noon on Wednesday, I want you.
You're not going to do it at noon on Wednesday. You're leaving tomorrow morning. You won't be there when it happens. You're not there for the handing over. You're not showing up. You're not handing it off. You recorded this, and then you're leaving town.
I want you to know that the movement we started is only just beginning.
Yes. So everyone, head down to Mar-a-Lago starting tomorrow. Camp out. Your orders will be given. This is a serious military and political operation. Everybody, all the maggots and Trumpsters, need to immediately, wherever you are, start driving. Head straight to Mar-a-Lago right now.
There's never been anything like it.
Oh, God. Well, no, there has been. And they had their own flag, and they tried to maintain slavery, and we lost 500,000 Americans over it.
Belief that a nation must serve its citizens will not dwindle, but instead only grow stronger by the day. As
This is like claiming that, sure, I was never there for your childhood, but you got taller, so I'm responsible for that. You just grew. Look how much me staying away made you grow into an adult human person.
As long as the American people hold in their hearts deep and devoted love of country, then there is nothing that this nation cannot achieve.
Again, deep and devoted love of country. Again, this is bumper sticker nationalism. I love the country. I love the flag. I'm a huge supporter of our Constitution. But it's the values and ideas that are embedded into that Constitution and the promise of what they convey that gives the other elements their worth. The flag only has worth because of the depth and power of the Constitution and the values inside it. If you just love the flag and the country and throw out the meaning and the values and virtues that exist to make it what it is, I mean, it's like sitting in a burned out car going vroom, vroom.
Our communities will flourish. Our people will be prosperous.
They're going to flourish. They're flourish. I didn't know that, but they will. They're going to flourish.
Our traditions will be cherished. Our faith will be strong. And our future will be brighter than ever.
Yeah, our Christmas will be fucked. Our future will be so bright we'll have to wear shades.
Be cherished. Our faith will be strong, and our future will be brighter than ever before.
Yeah, now that you're leaving, hype train. Thanks, guys. By the way, deadlifted today for the first time in almost 10 months, tomorrow's going to be ugly. I'm just saying. My personal best was 315 before we all got to start. I'd worked up to clear 300, and I managed to hit 315. I started back in today at 250. Probably should have started lighter and then worked my way up since I was doing a lot of reps. But did like, how many all together? 15? Oui.
I go from this majestic place with a loyal and joyful...
With a loyal, geflagen. What is he? Seriously, this reminds me of the end of The Nutty Professor, where Jason, go into the back room and get the coagulant syrup off the back shelf. I can't hold him.
I go from this majestic place with a loyal and joyful heart and optimistic spirit.
With a loyal and joyful heart. Those words sound good together. This, oh God. Did Bret Michaels write this?
And a supreme confidence that for our country and for our children, the best is yet to come.
For our children. Our.
Thank you and farewell. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Ugh. Well, that was some next level shit. Every rose has its thorn, just like every night has its dawn. Just like I opened thousands and thousands of factories, every rose has its thorn. Yeah, by the way, I'm sorry, I thought you thought you were going to escape, didn't you? You thought you were getting out of here. You thought you would be fine, but no. Oh my God, it was painful, but he's done. I will say this. This is the biggest part of this whole thing. Hurrah! 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 Oh my God, yeah. This is Rudy Giuliani on the War Room on... Rudy Giuliani, if you're not familiar with him, he's the host of the Common Sense podcast. So... I've never been so happy! Is he back at... No, he's at another... Yeah, he's back in his room, but he's in another part of the room. Not at his desk where he normally does the show when he's back in New York. The show's called Rudy Giuliani on Treacherous Bill Barr. Published today.
Mayor Giuliani, in all seriousness, what did Bill Barr just...
In all seriousness, what is this? What am I doing here? What are you doing here?
It was treacherous what he just did.
What Bill Barr did was treachery. He's the one who came in here and opened the blinds in such a way that it looks like I fell asleep with a ruler on my forehead, and they created this line across the top of my head.
I mean, first of all, he has no basis for it. He was gone in the sense of being able to investigate any of the facts. He leaves out.
Yeah. He goes in. He says he doesn't
out the key fact that the one of the most violent things that happened there, of course, was the shooting and the death. That was all orchestrated by Antifa.
So the shooting and the death was orchestrated by Antifa because 3 Trump supporters were busting down the glass and she went through when they told her not to, and she got shot.
And it's on, once again, it's on film. And the guy admits it just about. You can see how what they're trying to do. They're trying to drive this from from a peaceful protest, even a
Are they a peaceful? Is it a peaceful protest? Even though the cops already been beaten by this point?
a sort of certainly illegal break-in, but no damage, just demonstrating to something that would be
No, yeah, there's no damage. I mean, theft of government property, destruction of property, shit smeared on the walls, cops, gas masks and helmets being torn off their bodies and them being struck with them. But I mean, it's basically like it's a bunch of rambunctious kids.
to be significant. You have to have a murder for that.
I'm sorry, what?
Just demonstrating to something that would be significant. You have to have a murder for that. So
You have to have a murder for the violence to be significant. So if Officer Sicknick had simply just bled into his brain and was in a coma, basically what happened on the Capitol wouldn't be significant until he died in his sleep 3 years from now. Is that your argument, Rudy?
the most significant act that came out of that day particularly, was the murder.
Okay. Say it again.
Act that came out of that day particularly, was the murder, the death. Well, this guy is there, right there, filming the whole thing. And if you
was the murder. So the cop, the Secret Service agent who worked in the Capitol, who shot Ashley Babbitt for breaching the room that they had barricaded while the House members were still clearing, the guy who shot her, he's a murderer. Back the blue.
and if you look at the group, about the
Thank you, Julie. Welcome back.
only person that was a Trump person was the poor woman who was shot. All
You mean the woman who climbed through the window?
the rest of them were dressed up in their Antifa garb. A couple of
They were wearing Antifa garb.
them had MAGA hats on over black. I don't
A lot of them had it over camo. Some of them had it over desert camo.
know. I have never seen a MAGA guy wearing Antifa black bloc, which is what they call. It's admitted. The guy's brother has basically testified against him. Now, the great
Basically? Has he basically?
attorney general doesn't know that. And second, you're absolutely right. The talks that were given were going on while this happened. People didn't run out of that speech.
No.
1 mile
Let me,
from the Capitol.
hang on
They were
a
sitting there
second.
Yeah, they did. It was after.
freezing, like you said. Poor people.
But hang on for a second. Hang on for a second. I actually think I take this very differently. And by the way, that was the Air Force veteran that got shot by the security guard through
Yes.
the glass, and the Antifa guy.
So he was murdered. An Air Force vet was murdered by a guard.
Around there. Hang on. But I think Barr, they now know that you've come up with this Antifa and other evidence, and Raheem Kassam and the National Post have come up with the timeline. And the New York Times has had to buy into the timeline. So they can't prove what they were standing up there in the House the other night. They can't prove that the speeches, because they know this was pre-planned. And they know the timeline that these guys are already up there sometimes before the president even took the stage or early in the speech. And it would take, 30 or 45 minutes to walk up there, which most of the crowd did. Mm-hmm. That's why they all came up, saw something was going on. And very few of them, of the entire crowd, ever even entered the grounds down there by President Grant.
Yeah, very, very few of them. Only about, 3,000, 6,000, 10,000. What was the very few?
Grant's statue. Very few of them. No, I think Barr.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't watch the video, guys. You didn't see that. What you saw was not what you saw.
Sees that and sees your arguments. He's shifting to something totally different of which he was here. He's saying, oh, no. What precipitated it was really What precipitated it was really the running around, Rudy Giuliani and others running around for 10 or 12 weeks talking about election fraud. And he was there and he said, hey, there's no election fraud. I can't see anything. That's the point he's trying to make. They're moving the goalposts because you've already blown up their initial argument, right?
Yeah, let's see. Trump, January 6 timeline. Let's see if we can get visual timeline. Let's try this. Okay. 2:10 a.m. Georgia Senate runoff is called for Democrats. 8:17. Trump says states want to correct their votes, which they now know were based on irregularities and fraud, plus corrupt process, never received legislative vote. All Mike Pence has to do is send them back to the states, and we win. Do it, Mike. This is time for extreme courage. Trump supporters mass by 11 a.m. Mostly massive crowd filled the area. Trump begins his remarks. At noon. Repeated false claims about a stolen election, telling the crowd never give up, never concede. Noon. Trump supporters, some armed with guns, gather in the Capitol in Little Rock with protesters at the Idaho Capitol. Okay. 12:30, crowds from pro-Trump rally gather outside the U.S. Capitol building. Basically gave his 20-minute remarks, and then they went up there. 1 o'clock, 1:05, they start breaching the line. 1:10, Trump ends his speech, saying we're going to go down there. Like he's been saying, we have to go stop them. This is the smaller group. They're still operating. Ends his speech, 1:10. Pro-Trump mob breaches Capitol, forces them to adjourn. 1:12. Republicans lead. That's when they got up the steps. 1:30 p.m. Hundreds rally in front of the Michigan Capitol. 1:30 p.m. After Trump's speech, supporters began marching towards the Capitol. These are the people who had hit this part. And then 1:30 p.m., crowd outside the building grows larger, eventually overtaking Capitol Police, make their way up the steps. 1:35, they tell them. Shortly after 1:30 at the ellipse, there's the ellipse, here's the Capitol. Around 2:15, pro-Trump mob breaches the Capitol, breaking windows, climbing in. By 2:20, basically right after he finishes, the big part of the mass group heads up there. They don't get in or past the breach until the reinforcements arrive that he just sent. 2:24, Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what could have been done to protect our country and our Constitution, giving states a chance to certify a corrected set of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones that were asked previously. U.S. demands the truth. Please support our Capitol Police. Stay peaceful, because this is already happening at 2:38 p.m. Protesters gather at the Louisiana Capitol. Before 3:15, Ashley Babbitt is killed. 3:13, I'm asked for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. He does that afterwards, after they've been told that a woman's been shot. Press secretary tweets, National Guard, more. Trump refuses to condemn the violence as it keeps going. 4 p.m., 4:05, 4:17. He finally comes out after Biden has said something. They basically runs out and he shoots this 1-minute shit video. What's the timeline problem that they're alleging?
Right. You've already blown up their initial argument.
Second one.
Yeah, totally blown up.
How about we blow up their second one? You see those guys scaling the walls? You think they were worried about voter fraud?
Yes.
You think the guys with the bats batting things in, dressed up all in black, were worried about vote? Does this look like a voter fraud crowd to you?
They were carrying Trump flags. What do you mean dressed in black? One of the women who fell has become a meme.
It's crazy. These people had nothing to do with voter fraud.
Well, of course you have to say that. You're in legal trouble.
Look at the check.
Of course, look, all couples argue. Of course my wife and I argued before her disappearance. A lot of women disappear after arguments because they've had it, or they run away, or they leave, or,
checks that we have setting it up. This was going to be a peaceful protest, surely.
Was? What drove it over the top? What was it that made the maggots push in the door, beat up the cops, smash the windows? We know these people. Have you not seen the other footage?
Nothing more than that. And it was hijacked by Antifa and two other groups and turned
Two other groups? My goodness.
into a violent action. If there
What other two groups would that be? Antifa and Trump voters and QAnon?
were some Trump people that engaged in violence, it wasn't
There were? You don't say.
instigated by them. People who instigated this were not Donald Trump, Professor Eastman, Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump Jr., or any of us. People who instigated were Antifa, GoPar, whatever the heck the name of it is, and a couple of other groups. They deliberately planned
Groyper.
They deliberately planned it, irrespective of anything. It had nothing to do with vote. And secondly, the claims of voter.
So if they planned it, how did they get the other 10,000 Trumpsters to storm the steps and help them? This is one of those things like, are your people that gullible and easily led that they should be trusted with the levers of power?
Claims of voter fraud are true.
No, they aren't.
I just last night I got 3 more affidavits from my witnesses saying, can we still do something about it? 3 more people, one of whom wants protection, who watched false ballots being made.
Really? He wants protection? Let me guess. He wants an apartment, maybe a little per diem, a car, nothing too sporty, good gas mileage, unless you guys are covering gas, in which case, obviously, a Ferrari is not out of the question. I'd like a nose glasses disguise kit in case I need to go to the bodega.
New witnesses now.
New ones? They're still witnessing stuff from elections that are occurring today.
Am I supposed to not believe them? I've met.
Yes. You're supposed to not believe them. You're supposed to vet them and recognize that they are lying to you like all the rest.
Probably not
Wow.
100, but 70 people? American citizens?
Chili Crew, thank you. Oh my gosh. Chili Crew, thank you so much. I didn't see that. It went past on my other thing, and so I didn't hear that. It didn't make a chime that I saw. I beg your pardon. Thank you, Chili Crew. That's amazing. Thanks for pointing that out, guys. Bless you. Yeah, this is $20,000 a day, Giuliani. I appreciate that, Chili Crew. That's amazing. Bethany, again, thank you as well. And Foggy Ozark Gal, thank you. And Grim R, thank you. And thanks, Fool Babe 77 for the bits.
Citizens?
Okay. Hang over a second.
Tell me there was voter fraud. I'm not supposed to believe that?
Hang over a second.
Yeah, you're supposed to, as the attorney of the president, be dubious about claims given to you by people that purport to support the president, since your client has a propensity to buy rafts of bullshit from strangers. It would be within the realm of reality that you would vet such information. Check it out before you go, I got 3 last night.
He was the Attorney General of these United States.
It's terrible. Who picked this asshole?
Hang on.
Oh.
You went around. Let's leave aside the machines. Let's leave aside the ballots being shredded. Let's leave all that aside.
All the shit you're making up and that you're like that Steve Bannon knows is ridiculous, but he can allow Rudy to talk about it, but he can't enter the conversation himself.
I'm just saying on the basics of the core vertical of, illegal aliens voting, underage people voting, dead people voting.
The core vertical, bro. This is a core vertical. What in the world? That is I don't know what is happening there. Here, boink.
People voting that, and also then the non chain of title, non-custody of the mail-in ballots. Just on those 2 alone, how do you differ? The Attorney General of the United States said, "I didn't see anything. I didn't see it, Rudy." What do you say to that?
I say somehow, somewhere, he forgot the oath of office that he took. Somewhere around the time that he didn't follow up on the Biden allegations because he was afraid to go after Biden.
Really? Is it because he was afraid to go after Biden? Or he went over to the FBI because he's the head of the DOJ and said, Rudy keeps bugging me. Is there anything to this hard drive? And the dude went, come here. See all these? This is where these files were copied initially, and this is where they were duplicated, and these are where these pictures were photoshopped, and they all trace back to a Russian IP address in Ukraine. He got scammed. That's what it is. And so he went back and went, sorry, Rudy, can't help you.
Somewhere around the
Like he didn't make one, literally. You wouldn't make one phone call. You think Bill Barr didn't follow up with a single phone call about the Hunter Biden laptop or any of this stuff? Like, I don't want to hear it. I just want to hear it.
around the time they got the hard drive. The hard drive shows definite evidence of numerous bribes over 30 years.
It definitely shows evidence of a bribe to Donald Trump from Russians who sold that to Rudy Giuliani, paid for with, I guess, MAGA supporters' cash somehow, Rudy? It definitely shows the digital trail where that stuff came from. But please, print out on paper 5 more copies of the same goddamn sheet and show it to us again if it's got 30 years of evidence. I agree. It does look like Rudy is wearing a stocking over his face. It's very weird.
A second-year prosecutor could put that case together. Or how?
Well, then why can't you? A second-year prosecutor could put that together. Then copy the hard drive, give a forensic copy of it to every state that Hunter Biden has worked in. Give it to the district attorney's office in every single one of them. Why won't you? What would stop you? If you're watching the show, what would stop you if you found a hard drive that had evidence of 30 years of criminal activity of the kind that Rudy Giuliani is alleging? You're telling me that you wouldn't provide full copies to multiple law enforcement offices, and then when they responded, not take what they said seriously. Drop it off at the Delaware State Police Office. Here's a copy of the hard drive. They call you back 2 days later and go, yeah, this is fake, dude. Who'd you buy this shit from? What are you talking about? How much did you pay for this? What do you mean how much? I didn't pay for it. There's literally notes in the metadata that they met with you. How much you paid for it. They're dicking with you, dude.
Or how about the danger being posed for minors? That's admitted on the tape. Nobody takes.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. He claims his ex was making allegations against him to limit time with his children. Now, I am waiting for Rudy Giuliani to come out in support of all fathers that have had malicious lies told about them in custody court, that all those men are guilty.
Nobody takes any action there. Nobody.
Because they actually looked at the documents. They matched it to what was really said. Anybody who reads that can read. This is like saying, my ex-girlfriend's making up stuff about me to my friends. She's saying, she's saying I killed somebody. She's nuts. She's saying I killed, my ex-girlfriend's saying somebody, telling everybody I killed somebody. To Rudy Giuliani, that's you admitting to murder.
Nobody. Not the local Delaware police. Not the
Yeah, why wouldn't they look at it? Why wouldn't they?
FBI. Not Joe Biden. I know what's on that hard drive. Backwards.
Oh, do you now, Rudy? Do you really?
And forwards. It was given to me.
Mayor, we're going to come.
I know what's on it. Backwards and forwards, it was given to me.
Yeah, we're going to come back to the hard drive. But hang on.
The failure of law enforcement doing about it is illegal.
We're going to come back to the hard drive in the next segment, because the Daily Mail's got a story that James Biden went to saw the hard drive and said, "You're going to lose the election because of this," and I apologize. And Joe Biden supposedly told him, "Don't worry about it." Okay, so that's breaking in the Daily Mail today. But hang on,
not the Daily Mail.
I want to go back. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a break. I want to go.
Yeah, take a break. I mean, you don't need to dive into this. I mean,
go back to the fact that the Attorney General is saying that, hey, Rudy and these guys running around, the voter fraud stuff and the president is what precipitated the riot. I want to get your response to that. And the president still has a venue to adjudicate this for our audience. It is called his Senate trial. Right? If he doesn't just argue process, he has the full thing to defend himself. Put forward the receipts.
Just fabulous. Okay, hold on. Is there a follow-up to this? Do they keep honestly? And he goes on all these. It's so gross. Is there a new Stasi? Okay, that's Rudy. Did they have a sec? Yeah, I guess this is the they put that segment out. This is an inauguration without citizens. Yeah, because we don't want to die. Honestly. The new Stasi is being... I'm not doing any of this bullshit. We're out of time anyways, and I've got to go shoot sketches. So they're going to keep selling this crap. Seriously. And the impeachment trial, Trump won't be there. Trump is not going to show up for his impeachment trial. He's going to be represented by other people. He's already going to have moved on. He won't care if he's being denied that. He'll let his attorneys argue it. Rudy will be there. He will not act as one of the team because he's stupid and they won't let him. More than likely, it will be Alan Dershowitz and any other pedophile they can find to help, on the illegal team. I guess those are the only people he can find. Literally, old men that touch themselves in front of teenage girls. That's the only legal team he has available. Jenna Ellis is out. Cripes. What's a sushi burrito, How? It's like a giant rice and soy paper burrito with, it's like a giant sushi roll, basically, but done as yeah. So, thank you, Angelica. I appreciate that. Angelica? Wait, it's hard to say. I need it. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, we are almost done with this bullshit, folks. Congratulations. Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders to sail back to Scotland. And we'll nary see you again. Show me the way to go home. Boom, boom. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. You're going to need a bigger boat. For the record, since we're on our way out, I would like to reinforce this one more time because that asshole actually had the nerve on his way out the door to do this. Thank you, Steven. I will see you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m., bright and early, Pacific time, about an hour before the festivities. We will be watching it live. Everything will be fine. It will be lovely. It will be a sweet thing. There's no assassination attempt or any of that BS. Don't worry about it. Don't let them freak you out. Just, settle in, simmer down. It's going to be okay. I promise you this presidency will go out the way it came in. Forever lashed to a failure and full of a lot of noise. Yeah. And here, you want to see this kind of stories? We're going to have to go like, oh my God. This is get ready for this level of Trump won't turn in his BlackBerry. Joe Biden has a Peloton. Some security experts are worried. The bike could present some cybersecurity risks. They'll figure it out. I got news for you. They'll figure it out. They have a way to give him singular Wi-Fi access for those kind of things. Yeah, they'll throw a drape over it. They'll turn the mic off. It's okay. They'll figure it out. Joe Biden has a Peloton. Some security experts are worried. Isn't this so much better than Donald Trump just dumped 8,000 children on the Mexican side of the border in a cartel town and said, fuck off? I'm looking forward to this being it. right? Peloton Gate already. Yes, and we do need a bigger boat, Jamie. Thank you. And thanks for joining over here as well. I just think that's beautiful. In its own right, that's just fantastic. And by the way, much love out to Nicole Wallace, who on the air today was just dealing with the heartbreak of the 400,000 dead. And I recommend everybody to go watch the Field of Flags and the Joe Biden remarks about COVID. I highly recommend it. So I'll leave you guys to go do that. And I'm not going to have a big giant monologue tonight like I did last night. I won't, but because I'm going to see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Depending on if other stuff happens, like if they start the impeachment stuff tomorrow afternoon, which is entirely possible after the swearing in of a few people. After that happens, I might jump back on. Depends on what I'm shooting. So we shall see. And thanks, Nancy. I'm glad to help. I want you guys to breathe deep and sleep well, and I'll see you guys early in the morning, and it's going to be all right. I'll be on at probably 8:30 a.m. Pacific, a little bit before, but it just depends on what I'm seeing when I'm going to set something up tonight. So I adore you guys. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. We got through it. We're going to continue to get through it. Now that, Trump's gone, and he's going to be on an airplane before I even wake up in the morning, going all the way to Florida. And then that plane is going to drop him off and turn around and come right back. And it's going to be Joe Biden's plane noon tomorrow. I'm so excited. And then in the process, that stuff we'll watch tomorrow, I'm sure we'll hear some noise from him after the fact when he hires his new publicist and then stops paying her and the stories come out. Yeah. Well, it's going to be a joy. But there'll be some people flipping out tomorrow, and I have no doubt. No, Anthony, we do not wish death or illness on anyone, even our enemies. It just doesn't work that way. I would rather have people locked up forever and sit in a room with their own wrongdoing. Thank you again, Chili Crew. Thank you, Staying Quiet Now, for resubscribing. You've been here for 2 months. If you subscribe on Twitch, you have to resubscribe every month. It's a manual thing. It doesn't happen automatically. So if you're a subscriber over there, please think about doing it again. If you're on Amazon Prime, you can subscribe on Twitch, even if you're on the other channels, for free, because it uses your Amazon Prime account to do it. It doesn't cost you anything, and it benefits the show. It's one of the ways you can contribute without it costing you anything, and it's pretty great. So if you go to twitch.tv/HalSparks and subscribe, then use Amazon Prime. It doesn't cost you a dime. There you go. So I want Trump to age in jail. Yes. I don't want anyone to get sick and die. I want them to be faced with their actions and their wrongdoings the entirety of their life. And I want the ability, in the case of some people who may eventually turn out to be innocent, to allow those people to get out of jail if they are found to be innocent later on. That's why I'm against the death penalty. I think it's important, if you find guilty people and you put them in jail, to keep them there and not kill them, because at some point you might need to know where other crimes were committed and other details. So I would rather have them like a sad, sickening book on a shelf that you can pull out and offer, smoke some more yard time if they can help, end a family's anguish about a murder that happened a long time ago. We'll get into true crime stuff this year after all this stuff settles. But yeah, that's why I'm anti-death penalty. It's not because some people don't deserve it. It's because we shouldn't lose that resource, and the state can be wrong. The state shouldn't be in the business of murdering people. There you go. And it would be murder if they were innocent. So there you go. That's it. I will see you guys. Oh God. Knowing how many Pampers Trump has to have a week in jail, like that kind of news story. Oh, good Lord. The pardons, we won't hear about a lot of the pardons until they are tested in court. We'll find out like a year from now, somebody's going to get arrested for something and they're going to be tried for other crimes, and we won't know that they were pardoned until they actually get tried for the crime they were pardoned for. So, yeah, just get ready for that nonsense. All right, I will see you guys bright and early. Have a great night. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else, and I'll see you tomorrow.